everyone. Treasure Troller here from the militant state of Michigan. Just a couple of thoughts on last night's, whatever you want to call it, from the Democrats. A little back public parking, back entrance to some of the former stores, which are pretty much now all vacant. The big one there vacant, the green one vacant. I'm not sure what's in that store, but it's vacant. But anyways, a couple of things that you didn't hear that I thought was rather particular. Or maybe just coincidental, I'm not sure. But a lot of this kind of centered around women's rights, especially abortion. I'm not sure why it's such a big political thing right now. It's a state matter. I'm not sure why, if it's a state or national matter, it actually matters. It didn't matter in Michigan when Dana Sleestak-Nessel, who's currently in charge, the citizens voted on it, and that was it. I don't know why it can't be up to the voters. But the one thing that I was thinking about was how far really this how screwed up this country really is on this. I had to look back. Maybe some of you remember this chick, Sandra Fluke. Anyone? Do you remember her? This was back in 2009. 2009, when she went in front of Congress and was talking about how she couldn't afford abortion pills. How she couldn't afford contraceptives. She couldn't afford the pills. She at the time was a law student at Georgetown University. But she wasn't smart enough to know to keep her pants on. But she was upset that somehow she wasn't able to afford the $15 for the birth control pills. And now we've gone way beyond birth control pills. They don't even talk about birth control anymore. Josh Elder is a plan. Every child should be a planned and wanted child. We skipped over birth control completely, and now we've gone to abortion. Like a Speedway convenience store for abortion. If you don't have that, then you really don't have women's rights. It's fucked up. The other thing, too, that I was a little bit surprised that they didn't talk about, the closest thing that Kamala got to was you should be able to love who you want to love. Love who you want to love. And I don't think anybody has a problem with that. No one really cares who you love. But notice they didn't talk about, and you should be able to compete with anyone you want to compete with. Why didn't she bring Leah Thomas up on stage and talk about her plight as a biological male and the fight for her or he to compete against women in women's sports? Why didn't they bring Leah up to talk about this national travesty that's occurring? No, not a peep. And I don't think it wasn't intentional. because they didn't have any athletes up on that stage. And they could have got, I don't think it would have been that big of a deal to get her there, Simone Biles. People are saying is the greatest gymnast in the history of this country. And her husband plays for the Chicago Bears. They could have had her go out on stage and talk. I forget what his name is. His last name is Owens. I forget what his first name is. Jonathan Owens, maybe? But he plays for the Bears. It's preseason. He's in town. She's in town. She could have stopped in, but I'm thinking, if they would have brought her up, then that would have brought up the other issue along with sports. So I think they completely want to avoid that. Oh, it was the biggest talk during the Olympics. You know, they could have brought Leah up there to really talk about the plight. And they could have brought Simone Biles up, which would have led to the question about women's sports. So they completely ignored that. So that was my thoughts. Just a lot of bullshit. Like I've said before, they're always your homie. This time of the year, they're always your homie. Always. And then after the election, they don't give a shit about you. They're always your homie. So with that, this is Treasure Troller saying aloha and good day.